All right, well, we are 2 minutes past the starting time, so we're gonna get going. Thank you guys for joining us. I know I mean, we all know it's a busy time of year, so we're really appreciative that you choose to spend some of that time with us. We have a really good panel. You guys are gonna hear from some very experienced folks on some of the most important issues facing e-commerce in Q4. We know it's make or break for a lot of brands. I'm Hillary Reed. I'm the CMO of Cenports and Makers. Cenports is an e-commerce operations platform. We've got this great software platform that integrates with pretty much all major US retailers, does things like order management, forecasting, performance reports. We have a fulfillment component, and then our sister company, Makers, works with overseas vendors and partners with major retailers. You're going to hear from one of them in the US to make sure that their products are getting seen and merchandised properly and stuff by the many millions of customers on the platforms. So before we jump into this, just a couple of logistics. We will send out a recording of this afterwards. So if you miss anything, it's okay. Like you'll have time to watch it at your leisure. And we'll have a Q&A session. Most of it's probably going to be at the end, but if we see a question that's super relevant in the moment, we may kind of break and answer it right there. This is going to be really informal, conversational. So please do send questions whenever they occur to you. You don't need to wait to the end. So we'll go to the agenda. We're gonna start off by learning some more about our panelists, who I've had the pleasure to get to know over the last couple of weeks of planning. We're gonna kick it off with Farbod, who's gonna talk about why reviews are so important these days. Well, they always were, but they're even more important these days. Hannah Hernandez from Houzz is going to talk about the Houzz marketplace ads as kind of a representative option that a lot of marketplaces offer. Her associate Claire is going to answer Q&A for Houzz, and then we're going to turn over to Dawn, who's got decades of experience on both the retail and vendor, or the retailer and vendor side of the industry, and then we'll open it up to Q&A. So I'm going to pass it over to Dawn to get started on introductions.
Nice to make your acquaintance. I am currently the Senior Vice President of North American Sales for BergHOFF International. BergHOFF is a company that has its world headquarters in Belgium and does business in over 60 countries. Our North American headquarters are in Florida. And before that time, I ran home businesses for Macy's and May department stores. So I have a little perspective to both sides of retail, wholesale, and hopefully I can share some of that knowledge with you.
Thanks, Dawn. Hannah?
Hi, everyone. My name is Hannah. I am the program manager of our marketplace advertising program here at Houzz. Houzz is the leading platform for home remodeling and design, and I'll do a little bit more comprehensive background on our platform here. But I've been at Houzz for a little over 6.5 years. I helped create and launch the marketplace ads program back in 2017. Been managing ever since, although a lot has changed since then, and very happy to be here with all you guys today.
Awesome. And Claire?
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Claire. So I am the marketplace ads manager on Hannah's team. And I actually started at Houzz in August of 2018. So I actually started in our e-commerce sales team. So I was on the phone with users. So that gave me a lot of industry knowledge just about our marketplace and what everybody is shopping for and looking for. And now I am, again, like I said, on the product ads team, been here for over 2 years and excited for today and to learn more.
Awesome. You can see we're coming from a bunch of different angles here. And Farbod.
Hi, everyone. My name is Farbod. I'm the co-founder of Revioly, and we are a startup here in San Francisco that essentially address the problem of brands reviews on online market. So essentially our startup is an alternative for those product giveaway expensive programs that essentially you can discount your products in order to receive a high quality review.
Awesome. And that is a nice segue into your section. So we'll start off with reviews.
Sure. Thank you, Hillary, for the introduction. So reviews are the number one most desired element for online shoppers purchasing decisions. And I can show you a kind of sales funnel or marketing funnel that how it works. Can you go to next slide? Here we go. So essentially the purchasing journey of a customer starts with searching that product online and looking for their product that they're looking for in the first 2 to 3 pages. And the easy but the temporal way of showing your products in the first 2, 3 pages are paid ads or PPCs. However, we all know we don't want to perform on ads forever and be reliant on them. So we need to find a sustainable organic way to be showing up on the first few pages. So there are 3 main factors that contribute on the prospect's decision so that the prospect actually clicks on that product, which are the product's rating, its price, and the brand that probably they already know. So, however, when they get into the products page, the story is different. They are looking for a more detailed and unique information about that product. And we call actually these materials PRP pillars that are reviews, price, and photos. And these reviews are different from rating because rating essentially took the customer already to the products page. However, these customers now want to see more detailed reviews and descriptive reviews of the products. And I'm not really going to go through the add to cart process and how to convert from add to cart to actual sales, but this is a general process of a product that is being found online. So the study that was done by Salsify shows 82% of consumers wants to read at least 3 products reviews when considering a purchase. So talking about that rating versus reviews, they actually want to read descriptive and high quality reviews as opposed to, okay, this is 5-star or 4-star and make their purchasing decision based upon. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it was the case that people were making purchasing decision based on the ratings, but today actually people want to read reviews. And talking about high quality reviews, our definition of a high quality review is an authentic review that helps online shoppers to make an informed purchasing decisions. And these reviews are essentially honest, descriptive, and contain photos and videos. For example, the review that you see is for one of our partners that we got the review for. You can see that this review was chosen as the most helpful positive review by Walmart. And the reason is very simple. The number of keywords, the length of the review, and so on, they all contribute on Walmart decision on choosing our review as the most helpful positive review. And finally, the simple question is, are you going to choose the product at the left-hand side or the product at the right-hand side that is very similar to each other? So if you look at it, like looking at the left product, you can see it has 0 reviews and the price is around $50 cheaper than the right one. However, and the right one is not a 5-star product, it's 4.2 star product, and it has 20 reviews, but definitely the research shows that 80% to 90% of people will choose the right product compared to the left one. The decision is yours, however.
Thanks, Farhad. That's awesome.
Okay.
We're going to hear from Farhad a little bit later too about basically how you can get reviews, because that's an obvious follow-up we've already gotten a question about. So before I kick it off to Hannah, know that what Hannah's going to be talking about is an offering that Houzz has. Houzz is an amazing retail platform that specializes in furniture, home decor. They're a great partner of ours. We love working with them. But if you are on other marketplaces like Walmart, like Farhad just mentioned, Overstock, Wayfair, Home Depot, they also will have very similar offerings to this. So it's a way to accelerate sales and get your product like front and center for folks. So I'll kick it off to Hannah.
Cool. Thank you, Hillary. Awesome. We can go to the next slide. And as Hillary mentioned, Houzz is one of the many e-commerce marketplaces out there. What differentiates us is we have 3 facets that we really like to point out to people who are partnering with us. So we are the platform for home remodeling and design, but really what's key about Houzz is that we provide people with everything they need to improve or design their homes from start to finish. So Houzz has over 20 million photos where people can find design inspiration from every space, every style. We have home professionals that people can actually hire on site from a catalog of over 2.5 million pros, anywhere from interior designers to architects and builders. And not only can you hire these people are also shopping on Houzz. Which brings us to our shop section. So we have over 5 million products of every style, category, budget, from vanities to bar stools to lighting, really to make sure people can complete their projects the best that they can. So on our shop section is where we feature our sponsored product offering or our product ad program. And a little bit of background about how our program works. We will go ahead and showcase relevant sponsored product listings throughout premium placements on Houzz, really to boost rankings, to drive traffic to your individual listings, and ultimate goal is to increase sales. So the way that we display ads are going to be contextually based on relevancy of the data that's already provided to us from your product data feed. So we're looking at things such as your product titles, your descriptions, your category, your style, as well as a cost per click to designate how and where we share your ads. Advertisers, if you are to participate, you would determine your monthly budget, the products you want to promote individually, as well as that cost per click anytime someone would actually click on your ad. And then we would give you guys insight on ad performance. So looking at how many times your ads have been served, which is an impression, clicked on, your click-through rate, as well as your campaign attributed orders, sales, and return on ad spend. One differentiating factor about our ad program from others out there is that you will actually have an ads manager through the lifetime of your campaign. So someone on our team will work with you guys for anything as basic as administrative support, all the way to recommendations for optimizing your ad campaign and getting you the most performance out of there. A few different quick examples of where we showcase ads. This is going to be the crowd favorite. So really top of the shop section, whether someone is searching for a product that's similar in your catalog or shopping by department, we feature up to 6 ads within the first 2 rows of shop. So again, just a great way to get your products featured towards the very top of those product pages where people are actively searching. And then if they are clicking onto a product listing page interested in an item, directly below, we feature up to 20 ads in a carousel as well, trying to capture that user as they're a little bit further down the conversion funnel. And we do this both on web as well as on mobile. So the next slide, anyone shopping on smartphones, tablets, we know people are shopping across devices these days. So we want to make sure we are in front of them at any point of their shopping journey. A few best practices. This goes for sponsored products as well as just organically selling on Houzz. One is having thorough product titles, descriptions, listing images, and as Farbad mentioned, reviews. One thing that's great about Houzz is that the authenticity of our reviews are spot on. So you have to actually be a verified purchaser in order to post a review. So again, the goal is just to instill as much consumer confidence so people don't have to reach out for questions, are ready to buy. In that example, like Farbad shared, the 2 pictures, who are they going to buy? They're going to buy the one with the reviews. In addition, having a diverse catalog selection on Houzz. So we always encourage our partners to load their full catalog, just giving our users the most diverse option to buy. And then advertising an appropriate number of SKUs as well compared to the budget that you guys have available. So I always like to use the example of someone who has a $500 budget. We would never recommend that they advertise a 20,000 SKU catalog. We need to make sure that it's comparable to the budget that they actually are providing to Houzz. And then on that note, including new products. So this is critical for advertising. As we shared, it's really hard to get to those top few placements on Houzz where you're featured in those top rankings. That goes for a lot of e-commerce sites out there. If you don't have tons of reviews, tons of purchase history, you're not going to be featured in those spaces. Advertising is one way to boost that ranking so you are on the first few pages of the shop sections. On that note, having a strong monthly budget, being able to stay competitive with your competitors who are also advertising, having competitive cost per clicks to make sure you're bidding appropriately and winning the placements on Houzz as well as the other platforms out there, as well as just having a strong budget so you last the entire month. If you have a small budget, you may run out early, and really the goal is to get you maximum amount of exposure. Which brings us to the last point here. So just aligning your advertising campaign with any sales or promotions that you're participating in. This is great when it comes to those really huge holiday events, Black Friday, Cyber Week, making sure, again, your ads are 1, live, 2, really competitive, so we can just double up on exposure and get you guys visible to as many people as possible.
Awesome. Thank you, Hannah.
Yeah.
All right. So, you know, you heard from Don. He's got a ton of experience on both sides of the coin here, the retailer coin and the supplier coin. So we're going to turn it over to him now. Don, I think you might have to unmute and start again. Life of COVID, right? It's got to happen at least once during an event.
Sorry about that. As I said, BergHOFF is one of the largest suppliers of housewares and tabletop products in the world. We do business in over 60 countries, and we cover basically all the categories that cover housewares and tabletop. Continue on. There are some of the categories that we cover. We have a very high-level design team that wins all sorts of international awards every year. And we develop 200 to 300 new products every year. On this list is a few of the many customers that we do business with today. Few of the collections that we do, we try to tailor our collections towards different customer bases. This is the Leo collection, which has done extremely well in virtually all markets. And this is the Ron collection, which again presents a completely different feel, appeals to a different customer. What can a retailer do to really maximize their business for the holiday season on e-commerce? One thing which is alluded to a little bit a moment ago is to make sure that the national promotions that your vendor supplies you with are prominent and visible on the site. We have some retailers where they just don't seem to show up too well, and believe it or not, they don't do a lot of business. So it's very important that you have that visibility. Right now, or I should say, most suppliers are willing to work with their retail partners in a way that gives them special, unique products as well. We can create special kits for you and things like that that make them exclusive, or at least allow you periods that you can promote them when other retailers are not. Even though we have a strict MAP policy for all public sites day in, day out, we do have ways of working around that and giving you promotions outside of the national promotional periods. So you do want to work with your vendor partners to ensure that you take advantage of that. I think the most important thing right now, especially given the conditions in the world today, is trying to make sure you're in stock. Your vendor partner can easily tell you the SKUs that are going to be in jeopardy for the holiday season. The ones that are not an issue, you don't have to do anything special because you can order as you always do, whether that be for drop ship or whatever, bring it into your warehouse. But the ones that are the best sellers that are going to be stock issues, those are the ones that you really have to address and decide, can I bring some of these into my warehouse, keep them, reserve them some way to make sure that I am in stock. I always say if you can stay in stock on your top 15% of your SKUs, you're probably going to protect at least 65% or more of your business. So we talked a little bit about working with your vendor to secure your unique promotional opportunities. They can tell you again when and which items are going to be stock issues. As I said, if you can focus on the top 15%, you're probably doing a pretty good job. And then just trying to schedule regular communications with your vendor suppliers. I mean, the ones that we have regular perpetual meetings set up with perform a lot better than ones that we just sort of talk to when emergencies arise. So we and I think most other suppliers are willing to work with our partners, put aside time for them, and focus on ways that we can grow the business. And then obviously we want to hear from you like you want to hear from us. What's working, what classes, what types of items, what price points, and then we can focus our strategies to make sure we're optimizing it together. That's pretty much it.
Cool. Well, I'm sure we'll have some questions for you, Don.
I'm ready.
Yeah, you're ready. Okay, well, the first one that came in is actually, I think it's a good one for Claire. It's what are the biggest mistakes you see brands make with PPC?
Yeah, that is a good question. I would say a couple of things. One would be lack of involvement. I would say a lot of times we have advertisers who, take the route of kind of set it and forget it. So they are maybe updating the feed and come back 6 months later and wonder why it's not doing well. So I think being involved, working with us as the ads manager, we are always here to answer questions, go over reporting, go over data with you, kind of make it a partnership and work together. That way we can optimize, and by no means do you have to be in there every single day. I always recommend at least just once a month to check in. And then also I would say, in regards to a mistake that's very often happens, is a restrictive budget. Kind of to Hannah's point, if the budget is too low, then the ads just aren't going to serve up all month. It's going to, the ads are going to run out, and we want you to have as much exposure as possible throughout the whole duration of the calendar month. And probably the last thing would be low cost per clicks. Again, those need to stay competitive. If they're too low, that just obviously slims the chances of your ads even getting served up and being seen and converting to a sale. So I would say those are probably the top mistakes that we see.
Quick follow up on the cost per click, Claire.
Yeah.
What do you usually see happen like as traffic increases in Q4? Do those tend to get higher and more competitive?
Yes. So for cost per clicks, we do give a suggested range. So, minimum, maximum. With that, it can definitely fluctuate. So it's based a lot on seasonality. So obviously with higher traffic, site-wide traffic, just a more competitive time of year, those cost per clicks can rise. And so you definitely need to stay on top of those, because again, they can fall out of that range and be too low. And then your ads just aren't going to, serve up, and you want to be beating out those competitor.
Cool. So it sounds like Q4, if you're ever going to pay a lot of attention to your ad campaigns, it's now. Cool. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank
Cool.
you.
Yeah. So Farbo, we've got one for you. So you explain the importance of reviews, and now folks want to know, how do they get them, especially when, fake reviews might come in from competitors that you need to kind of, combat.
I mean, unfortunately, this fake review things, it's a common practice that is being done out there, and there is no really a real filter out there yet. But the point is, if you can practice and you can try to get more honest reviews and inject more honest reviews to your products, that kind of compensate that bad practice of negative fake review providers. So essentially, for getting reviews, you have two simple ways. One is just as Hannah and Claire mentioned, like increasing that ad budget and just put a lot of ads on the products, and get people purchase your product, and be hopeful out of each 100 purchases you receive a few reviews, let alone high quality reviews. The other way is using the solutions out there, that there are plenty of product giveaway solutions out there, which the problem with them is they are very expensive, and especially giving away expensive products, it just doesn't financially make sense. So as a result, and that's why Revioly exists, right? We came up with this platform that we let people, let brands to discount their products in order to receive a high quality reviews. And at the end of the day, our vision is to enable every single brand to come up with their unit economics of their products in weeks, not months. Meaning that they get the ball rolling, they get some initial reviews, and jump starting their products and showcasing it to other people, and generating sales. At the end of the day, for the products with low quality products, even our solution is not going to be a help. One, even if they receive positive reviews, at the end of the day, what they're going to do with hundreds of negative reviews. So definitely the product quality comes first, and then we will be more than happy to help with those reviews.
Awesome. Thank you. So we've got another question that came in for Claire. What are some ways to raise brand awareness within Houzz organically, not necessarily through PPC campaigns?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say probably the biggest one that we even bring up to potential advertisers, we have introduction calls, is being active on our discussion and advice modules. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with that page within Houzz, but we do have a discussion and advice section where you as the brand can actually comment, you can tag your own photos, and just being active on there and interacting with users and even trade professionals. There might be some interior designers, contractors on there who can still obviously make some purchases. So that's huge. And then I would just say building out your brand page. So that's honestly like your storefront, essentially for Houzz, since it's an online marketplace. So having your story on there, making sure you have a good image and a header image, and just making sure that page is very built out and strong. I'd say are the two organically.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Got a couple more questions that came in. So one is, I think it's going to resonate for a lot of people on this call, is that shipping rates from overseas are so high, it's hard to price competitively. I think everybody's experienced some part of that, whether it's as a consumer or, trying to get your products to the US. Will they stay that high, and how do you lower costs? So I would say the way to think about this for us, at least, is kind of economy of scale. So we have partnerships with different shipping providers. And because we have a ton of vendors who are on that service, our rates are lower. Now, there are a lot of companies who can offer the same thing, but I would say don't go it alone at this point, because shipping individually you're always going to pay the highest rates. So try to find a partnership that can help you lower those. Everybody's in the same boat, so it's not going to be hard to find a partner. If you have any questions about that, we're happy to answer them. What we're thinking is that probably rates, they will go back to somewhat normal. I'm not sure if they'll ever hit as low as they were pre-COVID, but we're thinking we're probably going to see them stay pretty high for another 6 to 9 months, so certainly during Q4. So definitely important to try to get partnerships while you can. And then the last question, this is for Don, which is great. Let's end with a bang. I think I know what Don's going to say here too. So a vendor wants to know, what's the one thing they can do today to make the biggest impact in Q4?
I used to always tell my buyers when I was on the retail side to identify I call them your super never outs. And those are those SKUs that you're going to do everything possible to make sure you're always in stock on them. So, if you're working with a vendor partner that's telling you that an item will not be an issue, and you're willing to work through the normal channels, get it in a week, have it drop shipped in 48 hours, that's fine. But on those items that they can tell you, and they're on your super never out list, that they're going to be stock issues, and you can get it now, I say get it now. A, you'll be in stock and drive sales. B, you'll have it when your competition does not. So it's a win-win. And I'd say that's the greatest thing you can do to impact your business immediately.
And it sounds like if you're a vendor, you better make sure that thing's in plenty of supply if you can. Yeah. Awesome. Well, so when we started planning this, we were hoping to come in at about half an hour because we know time is important, and we are at half an hour. So I'm very pleased with that. I just want to give you guys a slide with contact information. If you can just take a quick screenshot of it, I recommend you do. We'd love it if you followed us on social media, kept an eye on these channels, reach out with questions, anything like that. We'll have more of these events coming up. So definitely subscribe to our channels where you can. Thank you so much for joining us, and thanks to our panelists. These guys are awesome. They're as busy as any of you are. So, we very much appreciate them taking the time to give us insights. So best of luck in Q4. We're gonna shut off and, just subscribe where you can, and we'll be here to support you. So thanks so much.